Jake, what was one sport you always wanted to play but never got to?
Basketball.
Really? I was more of like a football guy, but I was always kind of scared of getting hurt.
Yeah.
Good thing we have on today someone that could maybe shed some light onto that. So welcome to Sus, Share Your Scare, where we talk to different people and hear their stories of survival, paranormal, and all things sus. I'm your host, Brennan Taylor. This is my brother, Jake.
What's up?
And today we have on three-time Super Bowl champ, Hall of Famer, and possibly the best-dressed wide receiver the game has ever seen. Let's welcome to the podcast, Michael Irvin. Thank you for coming on, my man.
Hey, thank you guys for having me, man. Everybody's drawn to that title, Share Your Scare. That's such the S-U-S, Share Your Scare. All of us has had, if we admit it, a few scares in our lives. And I think sharing those scares and how you keep moving past them, I think that's big, man. It's big inspirational stuff you guys are doing. So I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I feel like, people can relate to other people's scares and it helps them feel not so alone, because everyone goes through something different. And at one point in their life, at least, they've had something that's pretty terrifying happen.
Absolutely. And guys, listen, I firmly believe in this. And this is a little literary project I was working on about how to see your way to a championship. And what I do, I give you 6 C's that if you rehearse these C's in your in your daily work, you'll end up in championship row. And the second C is courage. That's why I love this. I go first, make sure you're called to do what you're doing. And the second C is courage, have courage. In order to share the height of having courage, I have to dig down in the depths of fear, which is what we're talking about, scare. Because everything that we do in life has some form of fear in it. And you will have to display some type of courage. And it's all good. It's all good if you because sometimes those fears help you save yourself from running out in the street. Because I'm afraid I get hit by the truck, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. I always say fear that helps helps you. It is good for your survival is good, but not fear that stops you from striving is bad. Fear that's good for your survival is good, but fear that stops you from striving is bad.
Exactly. Like Will Smith says, you never really truly live until you can get past what you're most feared, what you fear the most. So
yes, and a lot of us sometimes in our progress. Now I don't want you to get past what you fear the most if it's about your safety. I just happen to have a real fear about being shot. I don't want to get over that fear.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't want you to either.
I don't want to get over that fear because that's a healthy fear about surviving.
Right.
But if it's stopping me from finding my best, going to reach my best, going to be my best, then I got to use courage to move past this. So yes, I understand the gist of where he's getting to.
Right on, man. Well, look, before we get into your scares, I want to get to know you a little bit more. So what was your childhood like? Was your whole family into football and sports? What was it like?
Man, listen, I grew up, I'm the 15th of 17, so I had 16 siblings, right? 15th of 17. I often speak and I tell people we were real poor growing up now, poor. And I know, and I tell them, I said, listen, I understand and I speak for a living that the real word in the correct pronunciation of it is poor. But when you were as poor as we were, you couldn't afford the other O and the R. You can't even afford that other O and the R.
Oh, that's funny.
We were poor. And I had brothers that were athletes in my family and sisters that were athletes and played basketball. Brothers played basketball, football, but never made it to the level that I made it. I had an older brother that went to school and went to college and but then, and he was the second born for probably from the second born to the 15th, which was me. No one else really went to college. So it wasn't let me follow what everybody's doing. It was let me go make my own trail and do something different than what I see around me.
Right. You were of 17, so you had 16 other siblings, correct?
Yes.
Which
I'm the 15th. I mean, I'm down towards the end. And I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm down towards the end, but right now I get everybody call. I'm so sick of it, man. But it is what it is.
I bet, man.
Yeah.
Christmas at your place was probably hectic, huh?
Yeah, Christmas was. Well, Christmas wasn't hectic growing up because we ain't have nothing. Nobody expect nothing. You ain't got nothing. It ain't nothing to get, you know.
Now it's a little crazy.
Right. That was back in the day. If you got a pair of socks for Christmas, that's a great Christmas. You got your pair of socks.
Yeah.
Then you got only functional gifts. Ain't nobody got no time to go pay no money for no gifts that you talking about playing with. We need you a pair of drawers and we need you some socks. That's what we need.
Exactly.
So they were functional Christmas.
Exactly. We went the same route. We got socks every year. And that was our Christmas. We enjoyed it too, you know? Fresh pair of socks.
Right. Wait. That's what I'm saying. that was a great Christmas.
Exactly.
And you ate at the house. You got the socks or whatever you need. But you were going to eat that, or you were going to eat it early, and then go out, play, come back, and eat again. You had big meals. Yeah. Now, you know, my kids, they'll go to McDonald's on Christmas. I'm like, what is this? You know,
right?
What is going on? It's different. It's different. It's not about opening toys. They want their electronics.
Exactly.
I get a new phone, and I need to go in my room and get on it. That's what they want to do.
Exactly. Times are so different now. When did you want to start playing football? Like when did that interest come to you?
You know, I'll dive a little bit into this, how this came about. You know, I was being growing up in the family I grew up in. You know, they're not. You didn't have opportunities for certain things that I learned about existed as I got older. My early years in school, kindergarten, first grade, stuff like that, when I went, oh my God, I thought I was the dumbest dude in the world. Really? You know, I remember going to class, and the ladies asking everyone, like, do you know what color this is? And every kid raised their hand. I didn't know. Do you know how to spell your name? Every kid raised it. I didn't know. You know, I didn't know those things. So I just felt so inferior for so long, until about the third grade. They got me a tutor, and he came over one day and he said, "Hey, Michael, I'll tell you what, if you get done with work quickly, we'll go out and play football." And they brought a football, and that's kind of how it started, man. I mean, he started throwing me the football. I said, you special. You can be special. Just hearing him say that I could be special is what made me feel alive again after those few years of feeling inferior in school. So that woke everything up for me, man. And ever since then, I've been trying to catch a football. Now, what was funny, when I look back, I ultimately went to the University of Miami back in '88 when I left. I graduated as a junior, after my junior eligibility with a business degree, minor in communications, and went on to the NFL. And I learned, really, as I try to help kids now, it wasn't that I was dumb. It was, or I didn't know. It was I didn't have a preschool. And those other kids had preschool because that was right about the time when they started busing kids out. So they had preschool. So my inferior feeling in the classroom actually helped me want to feel that superior feeling on the football field. Wow. And it all kind of brewed from there.
That's awesome.
That is so cool that you took like a negative situation and made it into a positive. Like, I love that. Like, I have this saying that I have written in my apartment. And it says, every lesson learned is a lesson won. And I really feel like you did that there, you know?
Yeah, and then let it hang on me. I mean, because really, you know, I'm a spiritual man. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. And I had those thoughts until I realized, wait a minute, it wasn't that I was just insufficiently prepared. It wasn't that I didn't have the ability. I wasn't sufficiently prepared because we couldn't afford those things. So it made a huge difference. And I try to tell kids now, you know, or tell parents now, stop trying to save $1. I know that they have to sometimes, but don't make sure you're measuring your dollars correctly when you're sending kids to Miss Doris, because that's who watched me, Miss Doris, and all she did was watch the stories. She never counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to me, or A, B, C, D. Yeah. I knew more about Erica Kane than I knew about 1, 2, 3s and A, B, Cs from watching days of all those stories with her. But I think it's important to get started early if you're a kid. we're giving the kids something that their brain can feed on.
Right, most definitely. And you went to the University of Miami, right? Was that always the goal since you were, you grew up in Florida?
No, you know what? I always wanted to go. Actually, I thought about I wanted to get out of Florida, because I thought, man, if I go somewhere big like LSU or Syracuse, I can be something. I just wanted to get out of Florida early on. But then as I started getting towards getting ready to graduate high school, then they had brought in Snellenberger, and Snellenberger had gone to Miami and started changing everything around. He had started going into areas that other schools didn't recruit, the ghettos of Miami and Fort Lauderdale, getting athletes and bringing them all together. And when I was playing basketball at St. Thomas, and then he comes, he lands the helicopter on them. Everybody was, everybody was so crazy about Miami right then, man. And I just lost my father to cancer, brain and throat cancer. So I wanted to go far away, but everything just kind of got going. Every time my high school coach, he said, "Where do you want to go visit?" I said, "LSU." He said, "Okay, Miami." He said, "Where else you go?" I said, "I want to go Syracuse." He said, "Okay, in Miami." I said, "Okay, I'm going to visit Michigan State." He said, "Okay, in Miami." I said, "Why do you keep saying in Miami?"
Yeah.
He was like, he said, "Michael, you just lost your father. I want you to consider staying close for your mom, because I know how much she means to you." But ultimately, his advice was great. It was the right move.
Right. I'm sorry to hear about your father, by the way. That's so sad. So your mom actually raised 17 kids on her own?
Yeah, but I lost my father I was a junior in high school. Actually, he got sick when I was junior. He passed my senior year a few days before that first game. So we got most of our lives in with him. I was in high school, but then after that, I wanted to stay close to my mom. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So 1988, your first round draft to the NFL. How was that? How was the feeling?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Because first round pick, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Listen, and back then they were not taking a couple of things that I think about that stays on me with that. They were not allowing kids to come to New York then. Remember I told you I graduated after my junior year. So they didn't even allow juniors to go to the combine. So even though I worked the combine every year for the NFL, I'm always saying, man, I wish I could have been here just to let them dudes know I was the best dude on this field.
Hell yeah.
I just wanted to compete and have that moment. But coming up, man, and waiting to get drafted, we were at that house. Since they weren't bringing us to New York, I was at the house, and we had the whole family in the house. And my God, I'm gonna tell you right now, I remember they were all sitting in there like I was mutual fund about to mature. You know what I'm saying? Like they all invested. Like, hey, you remember them shoes I bought you?
Remember those socks?
Boy, remember them socks? Boy, hey, I need a house. Boy, as soon as you get drafted, I'm gonna need a house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, so socks have matured into a house?
Interest.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it was quite a moment to be there and to get drafted and to hear Dallas call my name. Green Bay, there were teams calling me prior to Dallas. Now, since I was a junior leaving school, this is how I was trying to control the draft. If you're a junior at that time, a junior graduating, and a team drafts you, and you didn't want to go to that team, I could drop a class, go to summer school, pass, graduate in the summer, the team would lose its draft pick, and then I could apply for a supplemental draft. So I thought I had it all figured out. I'm the brokest dude in the draft. I'm negotiating with billionaires. You see what I'm saying? So as teams would come and call me, I'm like, no, I don't think so. And I remember Green Bay called the whole family, because Green Bay had the 7th pick. And I was like, I don't think so, Green Bay. The whole family started chanting, no way, Green Bay. And I remember thinking, dude, we ain't got nothing in the refrigerator right now. And y'all talking about no way, Green Bay. But ultimately, Dallas was the perfect place for me. That was my dad's favorite team. So I was so happy when Dallas drafted.
That's awesome.
That's lovely. How much practice goes into becoming a pro? Like how much did you practice?
You know, it's so funny, man, because I'm here in Florida now. Because my aunt, who lived up the street from us growing up, you know, she's 90, 93, not doing well. So I went to go see her. And I swear to you, you asked that today as I was walking out of the house I grew up in, walking towards her house, I was looking at the little lines that I marked on the field, on the road, 40 yards, 90 yards, 100 yards. Wow. I painted them green markers, so I can work out and practice right there on the road, working on my 40, sprinting 100 yards, running around the block. I saw all those markers. They're still there.
Wow.
They're still there. It was crazy. I went and saw that today. But yeah, a lot of work. Because I was probably the worst athlete in my neighborhood. Definitely the slowest guy in the neighborhood. That's why I had those marks. I said I'm going to run every day because everybody could outrun me. So every time we would, hold a little track meet, they would all, well, Michael, you run last, and Michael, you got to run against Rosemary. I said, well, I got to run against the girl. And she always beat me. I don't know why I was complaining. She would always beat me. But I always tell people, it's not about you being the greatest athlete if you want to make something. It's about you outworking everybody. And I really do believe that. You have gifts. It's about what you're willing to put in to get what you really want. It's all about work.
Yeah, wow, that's super inspiring because I feel like a lot of people, they think they are their own worst enemies. They think they can't do something just because someone is better than them at them. But you have to always think like there's always going to be someone better than you at something. You just have to like really conquer your mind before you can conquer whatever that goal is.
And that's what I'm talking about. You have to conquer your mind. And now inside, in this project, this thing I'm working on, when I talk about those 6 C's, the first 3 C's, it's really, and it tells you, it'll tell you to make sure you're called to what you're doing. It'll say have courage what you're doing, and it tells you to challenge yourself. That's the first 3 deals with what's inside of me. I have to make sure I got those 3 elements going. And then the next 3 outside deals with what's outside of me. When I'm challenging myself hard every day, the people around me will see that and they'll challenge themselves, which will bring about a competition. Now I'm outside myself, dealing with what's around me, outside myself, a competition. We got to go through competing together. Even on a football team, I'm competing against guys I play with, Deion Sanders and we competed and practiced together. So I go from challenging myself to competition within, and then from competition to collaboration. See, we practice all day, all week against each other, but on Sunday, every time I see Jerry Rice lines up, I say, man, every time he line up a yard outside that number, man, he run a slant route. So now we're collaboration because we gonna compete because we work against each other, but even though we work together, but when it's time to go play the other team, it's collaboration time. I'm not just doing my job and you're doing your job. That's cooperation. I'm talking about collaboration. If I see something that can help you, if you see something that can help me, we will share that with each other to help us win as a team or to help you win as an organization or a corporation. So you want the different departments competing to be the best department, but when it comes together, we want to be the best company. And it's the same thing that goes on in every world, in sports world, and business world. And the last C would be celebration. Football has it right. My dad always told me this. He said, great men will see farther than they can run. That means if you're a great man, you're going to start something that will live past you. You start a great family, you'll be gone. Those kids will still be here. So you're starting something and you got to see something farther than you will run. And you have to put things in people that will last longer than you will last on this earth.
I like that a lot.
I really do like that. That's awesome. Do you think because I feel like, especially in sports, obviously there's so much competition. Do you feel like, I know you have these morals and these beliefs, but do you think that everyone else has different, do you feel like everyone is super competitive and won't share things with you that could help you grow?
Yeah, and I was too at a certain time until I got my money in the bank and said, okay, you comfortable. You can start sharing with people now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't spite. I can't be mad at those people. I understand.
Yeah.
You're trying, but at some point, like when I was playing, it was so funny because I would read up all my guys that I competed against: Jerry Rice, the Darryl Greens, the top cornerback. I would try to get Darryl Green's workout and do his workout, get Jerry Rice's workout because I want to be the best receiver. So I want Jerry Rice's workout and do it. I want to beat the best corner. So I want Darryl Green's and Deion Sanders workout and do it. And then in the evening, I'm going to do mine. And my mind would say, you work more than everybody. You should beat them all. And I did.
That is freaking awesome, dude. And I need to ask you, what is like the first thing you purchased when you got like your money in your bank? You know, what was your first big purchase?
I got a Hey, I don't know if you guys remember Luke Skywalker, Two Live Crew. Luke back in the day, you know, he had some pretty crazy songs out when we were winning national championships for Miami. And Luke was our guy. And Luke, man, I'll never forget, Luke had this BMW, convertible BMW. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. And right where I was working out, they had this beautiful BMW. And I used to walk around with a clock on my neck, right, with a 4.5 seconds. And I said, boy, that's all you got to run to get that BMW. 5 seconds. That's all. So that's how I trained for the combine. And the first car I got was an M3.
Oh.
An M3 BMW. I put silver rims on it. They didn't even have silver rims. They just started. I took these silver rims to Dallas. They ain't never seen anything hit Dallas when I hit Dallas. I had silver rims. I had a silver streak going down the car. They had just started selling car phones, the ones that sit in the car. Yeah. They were expensive as I don't know what. You know, they're like $15 the first call and $3 every minute after that. So I had the bad car, man. They asked me, am I tinting my windows? I said, are you joking? I want you to see. This is my third. Ain't nothing get tinted, right? So dog, since they were so expensive on those phones, I used to call my boy before I leave the house on the regular phone. Listen, man. Yeah, you got my phone number to the car? Yeah. Call me at 12:03 a.m. exactly. Yeah, when I say hello, you hang up that damn phone. As soon as I say hello, you hang up. So I pull up at the club at 11:55. They go, right over here, Mike. They back me on. It's going to take about 5 or 6 minutes to get me on back. Then they're good, you know, because they got a spot for me. Yeah. Back me beam up in there, get out slow, take off, you know, shade on. And then right when I get ready to walk off at 12:03, phone rung in the car. Right? I'll pick it up. Hey, man, no, what's up, man? He said, hey, man, Mike, man, I said, hang the damn phone up. Hang the phone up. Stop talking to me and hang the phone up. Oh, that's funny. I had great time doing that, man. Oh, my God, what ignorance was my youth. That was some fun stuff.
Wow, that is hilarious, man. Because I honestly, I see myself in a little bit of that. Because it wasn't my first car, but I just recently got an M4. So I have an M4 now, and I be pulling up places, getting out slowly. You know what I mean?
Getting out slowly.
Making sure everyone sees.
I know. I had to get rid of all my sports cars now because, you know, like right now, yeah, I just drive bigger cars, you know, my G-Wagon or Hummer or Ford or whatever. But because my sports cars were all cool and I love them, they're so fast, but my knees are so bad now from all the football. Yeah. So even when I pull up playing, my boy, I'll pull up in his Ferrari or something, and everybody's, man, look at Michael in that Ferrari, oh, that's cool Ferrari. But it takes so much to get out of it. I'm like, so whatever cool I got coming, I just lost it. Trying to get out of that little old car. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should put the sports cars down. So I don't drive many sports cars anymore.
You need to get that Lamborghini SUV now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I like that. I like the Lamborghini SUV. That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
So were you always into fashion? Because I saw early photos of you in the NFL, and you always had crazy outfits up, the best suits. Was that always something that once you started getting money, you started to dabble in?
Yeah, it's so funny. So of course my wife, she loves doing suits and dressing up, and I love it too. So we have fun with it.
Hell yeah, and you got some iconic photos from back in the day. Now you can show your kids and just show what kind of icon you were, man. Or still are, you know? I don't want to
Yeah,
take it
I listen. Some of them though, like that one that they show when I get drafted and I step out. I got on a Kango hat and a fat dope necklace with a big old hood cap. Man, I'd be like, oh my God, stop showing that, please. You know, because sometimes I see that young fella and I just want to whoop his ass. He spent some of my money on some dumb stuff.
Right.
Like, we didn't need to do some of that dumb stuff, man. I know we were trying to get girls and all of that, but we could have got them without spending that kind of money.
Yeah.
I wish I would have helped. I wish I had just known a little bit better, slapped them around a little bit.
Well, the name of the game of this show is Share Your Scare. So what is your scariest moment? I need to hear about it.
You know what took me a place, man. My mom, she, you know, when I was 15, she would tell me, she said, baby, when you were born, I just started crying. At first I said, oh, really, baby? She said, yes. I said, you were that happy? She said, I just couldn't. She said, baby, I said to God, what am I going to do with another kid? And she said, God said to her, this one will be different.
Wow.
This one will be the one that makes your latter days greater than your former days.
Wow.
And I remember that. That's all she would say to me as a kid. God told me, you're going to make my latter days greater than my former days. When we opened up the refrigerator as a young man, we had nothing. She would always say that. God told me. And when I first got in the league, got drafted, you know, I bought myself a car. The next thing I bought was her a house. Got her a house. And then my second year, we just got things going. Run a route, I run an inside post route against San Francisco. And I came down, guy pushed me, tore out my knee. And I went to the hospital, got an ACL, woke up the next day, and the guy said, raise your leg, Michael. And I could not raise my leg.
Really?
And I went in such a depression and such a scare. It's my first time ever being injured. And I thought, oh my God, if I can't even raise my leg, I can never play football again. So I thought all that I had worked on was gone. It was over, just like that, you know. And I went in a deep, deep depression. It took me a good year to come out of that depression, you know. And Dallas Cowboys, they were a little worried. They finally hired a trainer, Mike Warsick, who incidentally has 6 rings. He won 3 with us and then won 3 more with New England Patriots. And he became a great friend of mine. He helped me get through it mentally. He sold me something. He said, Michael, you know, it takes 6 joints to run. He said, you have 5 good ones. You got 2 good hips, 2 good ankles, and we can work on that one knee. You got 5 good joints, 5 good things to run on, just 1 bad one we need to work on, 1 that we need to strengthen, and you're depressed. And I mean, I bought that, man. I bought it and I started working, and it brought me out of the depression, man. You know, brought me out of depression and got me going on my career again. Later on, I asked him about that, man. I said, man, where'd you come up with that? He said, man, I made that shit up. I don't know what. He said, I couldn't believe you bought it, but you bought it. And it told me something. I needed something to believe, or I needed someone to believe in me. And that pulled me out of that fear, because I feared that I would not be able to play ball, and certainly my greatest fear would be not being able to take care of my mother. And I thought that was the end of that so quickly, and we had just gotten here. But God saw different.
Wow, that's crazy. That literally that was your second year, right? Playing? And that
my second year. You know, we had just gotten here. And I told my mom, I said, baby, she was rubbing my knee one day. And she said, oh, baby, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right, right? God is always able. You know, she was just praying, God is always able. God is always able. I said, baby, God is able. We keep that signing bonus, and we'll still get paid the rest of this year. She said, oh, we good there, baby. Don't worry about the knee. Boy, hey, let me get you something to eat. Boy, you take your time on that knee. Yeah. But because she was worried also, you know. she was worried. So God's been good to us.
Yeah. What moment was it like when you were able to, run again and you were able to play again? What was that like? Like feeling wise?
It was incredible. It really was, because you had taken, like I said, I had never really been injured, so I never really missed any games, and you take it for granted that you're playing, and I love playing. But after that, when I finally got back, absolutely, it went to another level. Yeah. It was like, oh no, I would never complain about practice, about work, because I once it got taken away, you realize how much you love it when you can't do it anymore.
And how big was the time span between that incident and then the ultimate incident that made you stop playing?
Well, that was my second year in the league, and then I got another really 8 years in after that. Because I think I came back stronger. It really set the tone for me, because it set the tone that I had to work a little harder and take it to another level. But yeah, I got that in another 8 years probably. So I played a total about 9.5, 10 years of games. Some injuries in between there, but about 9.5, 10 years of games.
Right, and then
I got 3 Super Bowls out of it.
There you go.
Puts me at about 1-3 ratio. I have to tell Jerry Rice all the time. I said, Jerry Rice, you played 18 years. I played 9 and got the same results, 3 rings. Yeah. But of course, he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah. Can you walk us through the final game? What, like, how did this all happen? I know I've seen the clip, but can you explain it to the people listening who maybe haven't seen it?
Yeah, it was crazy too, and that right there was, I had already, my wife, I would be walking around, because I was crazy kid, wild kid, and my wife would always have Bishop Jakes on and everything, and she was trying to help me get more spiritual, and she would always keep Bishop Jakes on. I come on, so it was a joke always on TV, and say, I'm playing around, Bishop Jakes. She said, oh, I love Bishop Jakes. And I would hear it all. And then she said, you should go to church with me and spend some time with me. My father's a minister. Red was a minister. My father was a minister. I was like, I'm going to do it as soon as I'm done playing football. As soon as I'm done. And then I was leaving that day. Headed to go play in Philadelphia. And I thought about it. When I got hurt, that's the first thing I thought about. When I got hurt, I said, oh my God, I've been telling my wife that I will give her more time and give God some time when I'm done playing football. And I thought, oh my God, is this why you're taking me off the field right now? When I got hurt, and if you notice, when I got hurt and I rolled over, I think my legs were crossed. And I remember the lady saying, uncross your legs. And I think she said, uncross your legs. And I said, I did. And I think it was like the look on her face, like they told me something was really wrong. Yeah. Because when I said I did uncross my legs, it looked like, oh God, his legs were crossed. And then, so I couldn't feel anything. They put me on a stretcher, and I went straight to God, please just let me get up from here, God. I swear that's it. You'll see I'm gonna do this. You know how you're gonna make every promise you can make to God at that time. I made every promise I could make to God. And just for those out there that have made promises and broke them, I broke most of them as soon as I walked again, which is crazy. But God is that good to me. He's been that good because I did break them. And I said, oh my God, but I got back, I'm back on track with it. So I thank God for it.
Wow, that's crazy because I was just literally talking about it with another guest. It's like as soon as something crazy happens, something bad happens, the first thing you do is make all those promises, That's the first thing that comes to anyone's mind. What happened? Like, what did you break in that moment when you got hit?
Well, what they discovered is I have cervical stenosis. Stenosis is a narrowing of the spinal column. So my spinal cord, my spinal column is tight around my spinal cord. And from all the years of playing and hitting people with my helmet and with my head, debris has fallen into my spinal column and pressing against my spinal cord. So when I took a hit, it damaged the cord that gave me paralysis in my body. Now, when that swelling went down, my movement came back. But the fear was moving forward was any hit can be the last hit, the next hit, because you still have debris in the spinal column. If you hit the wrong way, then it could have, some paralyzing effects. Yeah. So that's why we decided to not play. I tried to continue to play. I went and tried to find a doctor that would, because I wanted to continue to play. And then my wife was like, baby, you can't put us through that. Yeah. Every time you take a hit, we'll be worried. And I know how crazy I am. I would be wanting to prove to everybody that I'm not afraid and may put myself in harm's way. So we just decided that maybe it's best for everybody that I stop playing.
Yeah, you had an amazing career, and I'm glad you're still here moving around, and you didn't end up going back because it could have been bad if you did.
But it was hard not to. That tells you how much of our identity, or our whole being is tied into it. For athletes, man, it was difficult. I was ready to challenge that. Are certainly ready to risk it because this is who I am. This is what it is, and had I not been married, not had a family, with no doubt in my mind. Hey man,
really?
If I was by myself, no doubt I would do it. Yeah. I would definitely have tried to play, but thank God I did have a family.
Yeah. And especially now, okay, during the pandemic, I heard that you went through COVID-19. You actually contracted it too, right?
Yes.
Since we're on this topic of scary stories, let me hear all about that. Maybe you can tell the people listening that don't take this seriously what it's like.
Oh my God. This was the hardest thing I'd ever gone through too now. I got a headache from this thing that I'm telling you, I've never had that kind of headache before in my life.
Wow.
It was penetrating. It was devastating. I thought about all the people that goes through life with these migraine headaches. And I was like, oh my God, there's no way you could, how could you live like this? Yeah. And the only thing that kept me cool is I kept saying to myself, this only going to last 2 weeks. If I thought it had to be longer than 2 weeks, I would have just said, let's get out of here. There's no way I could take this more than 2 weeks. But so for about a week of mine, because I started taking that hydrochloroquine and the Z-Pack that they tell you to take, or they tell you don't work. I didn't know if it worked or not, but I was trying everything. As soon as they said it, I had my doctor pull me some aside just in case I got sick. Yeah. So I started taking it, man. It was hard. I took 2 tests. Both came back negative.
Oh.
Both came back negative, which scared me more because now I'm going through hell. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I got a hell of a headache. I'm cold. I'm isolated by myself going through it. I mean, the worst thoughts are going through my head. I mean, it was the worst thing. And these tests are saying it's not COVID. And now I'm even more scared. Like, okay, then what is it? Yeah. What is it? And so I had to wait. I went through it. It lasted really about 3 weeks. And about a month after that, I went and took the antibody test, the antibody test, which said I did have it. Okay. I knew it. I knew it had to be something. There's no way that was nothing. And if it wasn't COVID, what was it? I was scared it was going to try to come back. So I was happy to find out that it was. And hopefully I'm some kind of immune, even though I hear people say you can't get it now. And then I hear other people say you can get it.
Yeah. So you don't even really know if you could get it again.
I don't know. My doctor said I can't, but I hear other people saying you can. And that's what people have to understand is so crazy about COVID. A lot of doctors are saying different things. Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, you do not want to mess with this thing. Yeah. It was the hardest thing I've ever gone through, just trying to get myself. I didn't have any breathing problems. I didn't have any breathing problem, but I never had a headache like that. You couldn't think. If somebody texted me, you couldn't even text them back. Really? It was paralyzed.
Wow. And do you have any idea like where you got it from? Like in someone that had it, or just by?
Yeah. I probably took an ill-advised trip to Mexico. Okay. Obviously it was ill-advised. Yeah. It was ill-advised. it was obviously ill-advised. I should not have gone. But it wasn't like, this was like I went to an island.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just thinking maybe either going there or coming back somewhere in commute. I got it because I was kind of on an island when I got there.
I feel like for me, a lot of my fear is like I'll go somewhere, I'll go to a restaurant or something, and I don't know when the time span of when I went to that restaurant to when I could contract it if I got it. So what do you think that time span was between when you were in Mexico and when you actually got the first symptoms of it? Like how long did it take?
Yeah, it didn't, when I got back, because I had gotten back like that, I left that Saturday. Yeah, I left that Saturday. I came back on a Saturday, and I would say Monday, wrapped.
Wow.
It was over. It was over by Monday. I was like, oh my God. I was locked in a room somewhere, just like, and I don't, in all kinds of pain. So it was quick. I was feeling fine Saturday, but that Monday I was hurting.
Damn, that's so crazy. I'm glad you made it through that too. Like you've really gone through the edge of Earth. I feel like multiple times.
I'm sure there are a lot of people that have gone through much worse things than I went through. A lot of people, unfortunately, are still going through COVID. So we're praying for them people, praying for everybody. But as you said, we all go through some things. Mm-hmm. It's just how we have to try to get an outlook on it. And that's why I like you guys sharing, people that are sharing some of their fears and sharing their scares. Because once you know somebody got through something, mm-hmm. it gives you a little encouragement that I can get through it. I know he got through it. Okay, maybe I can get through it. I can try to get through it. It gives you just that much encouragement.
What do you think, like your positivity through all this? Like, how does that come? How did you get so positive to stay positive through all these situations that you went through?
Well, life is what it is. We want to think we know how it will play out. But we're only responding, and notice I said responding, I didn't say reacting. We're only responding to how it plays out. You think you know how it will play out. You're just responding to how it plays out. Responding is a positive answer to what's going on around me. I didn't say I'm just reacting to how it plays out, because reacting is negative, a response, a negative action towards what's going on around me. That's why when you go to the doctor, if they give you some medication, they say, how do you respond? Or you respond, are we responding well? Everything's going well. If the doctor come back and say, well, they had an allergic reaction. So they had a reaction to the medicine. That's a negative thing. So we want to respond and not react to all things. And you have to. Yeah. That's what you got to do to keep moving forward. You got to keep responding and keep moving forward. That's just what life demands.
Yeah. That's true. I wanted to dive into one other thing that I read online. I read that you got into a possible carjacking situation, which turned out they were huge fans.
Yeah, thank God, man. It's white Range Rover. It's white Range Rover, and I love Range Rovers. Mm-hmm. I just love the car. And I think these people had some beef with a guy that had a white Range Rover. Oh. And so I'm driving around, and it must have looked like their Range Rover. So the Range Rover they were looking for, they pulled up behind, they put up right beside me, and you could see, I saw the gun come up, and the guy looked over, and I saw him put it away, and he said, "Oh, wait, you Mike Irvin?" I said, "Yeah, man, what's up, man? What's up? Yeah, what's up?" He said, "Oh, yeah, man, I'm a big fan. I said, "Oh, my God." Then I tried to roll with it. Yeah. I just started rolling with it. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Yo, man, keep doing it, man. We appreciate the Super Bowl, man. I said, "Yeah, man, I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate the love, But when they pulled up, I said, "Oh my God!" I knew what that was. Right. I knew what that was, and that was a scary moment for me. That was a scary moment because I saw the gun come up when and it just
Yeah, you probably saw his whole face change from like, I'm about to shoot this guy to like, wow, look who it is,
Yeah, right, and that's what I felt. Yeah, that's what I felt. Now, I guarantee you, and that's when I told you I drive a G-Wagon. I drove right to the car lot and got right out of that Range Rover.
Never again.
I said, we ain't gonna make this. I don't want nobody else making this mistake. I don't know what that dude doing in that white Range Rover, but I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive what he's driving.
Yeah.
So I went right onto the parking lot and got rid of it right away.
Hey, you did what you had to do, you know? I would have done the same thing, got rid of that car.
And I hadn't bought another Range Rover since, and I loved Range Rover.
Yeah, I bet. And they got real nice lately.
Yeah, they get nicer and nicer.
I was like, and they are getting nice. I thought about it the other day. I was like, no, I haven't gotten over that scar. I don't know if that dude still got one. Whatever that dude is, I still haven't gone back to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, yo, I think we're almost out of time, but you are such an inspiring person, and I really do appreciate you for coming on the podcast and sharing your scare as well as your whole childhood. Like, it's crazy to see someone that, you know, really talk to someone who went from nothing to everything that you have now, and it's super inspiring, and I'm sure all the people listening at home will be inspired by your story.
Well, I appreciate you guys saying that, man. And the Bible says that now. I told you I'm a spiritual man. It says, confess one to another, pray ye one for the other. In this, we shall find healing. It says we should be confessing our journeys. Well, notice that really there's a Bible still being written if we all confess our journeys and be able to tell a truths about our lives, because other people can glean hope and inspiration from those truths. So thank you guys for being a platform so people can share the depths and the truths of their story.
Most definitely. This is Michael Irvin. Do you have anything you want to lastly, that you're working on that you want to share before we end this?
Man, I just want us all to do this. Let's enjoy sports. Let's enjoy all the things that we have in life, and understand this, man. We have taken a hell of a blow in our country as a people, as a country. We have taken a hell of a blow in dealing with the pandemic and the COVID situation. That's the thing that knocks us back off our feet to now trying to go from that blow that knocked us back to grabbing the courage and the strength to take a huge step forward for social justice. That's a hard call to go from one extreme to the other, being blown back to stepping forward. But we can do it. We can do it as a people. We've always overcome everything as a country. And I just hope we see this and we stop focusing on the energy it takes to fight and put that energy into finding great solutions.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Right? That was beautiful. Thank you again for coming on the show. We do appreciate you, and we hope you have an amazing life, man.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Appreciate
your time.
Have a good day.
Take care.
All right.
Wow, that was an inspiring interview, man.
Yeah, he's awesome. On the last note, what he just said about everything that we've been through, I think you guys got to go out there, go vote. So try to get in there, COVID safe, wear your mask, wash your hands.
Seriously, get out there. Every vote counts. And I know maybe you think your vote won't count. It will.
It does.
It's very important that we all do our civil duties as American citizens and go vote. So make sure you go and vote. Do your thing. Thank you guys for listening. See you later.
Peace.